Welcome everyone, I'm Jan, aka the Junkie Jeweler. Welcome to my video. Today we're talking about the 6 pitfalls when buying an engagement ring. And I'll go through those 6, not necessarily the biggest pitfalls, but some of the ones that people struggle with the most. There's obviously heaps more out there that we can go through in future videos, but today's video, just the 6. So starting off with pitfall number 1, having a budget. So the best thing you should do is set out a budget amount for yourself. And this budget, throw that 3 months, 4 months worth of salary out the window. Do what's comfortable for you. That would be the best advice I can give you. Yes, there will be jewelers out there that will try and convince you should spend more, but spend the amount that you are comfortable with. There's no point in getting yourself into debt and you can't start your married life off on a good foot. And I'm sure if the relationship or your partner is meant to be, she would be happy with whatever you get her, as long as you've taken her needs in consideration. So budget is essential. Choose a budget, stick to it, allow yourself a 10% leeway either way. You usually go up, but that's just because you are dealing with a great salesperson. Pitfall number 2, do your research. Research diamonds, research ring styles, research everything that you can around engagement rings. Decide ahead of time what you want to go for. Do you want to go for natural diamonds? Do you want to go for bigger diamonds and lower quality? Do you want to go for smaller diamonds and a higher quality? Do you want to go for layer grown stones? Do you want to go for moissanite? Do you want to go for colored stones? There's a lot to think about, a lot to take in consideration when buying an engagement ring. And for that side of things, you've got to kind of, in a sense, include your partner around this. If you're hoping to spring the engagement on her, as we all like to do, surprise her and that sort of thing, then ask her friends, ask family, ask her parents if they're available. Listen to what she tells you, because usually in that stage of your relationship, you would have gone and do a bit of window shopping, walk past a few jewelry shop. Oh, and I like that, and I like that, and that's quite nice. And she'll drop some hints. Be attentive. Listen to what she's saying, and stick to it. I can give you, if you take anything away from this video, stick to that. Listen to what she's saying, because she'll give you all the answers you need to know. So pitfall number 3 kind of goes with pitfall number 2, with educating yourself. But familiarize yourself with the 4 C's. Cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. So those 4 things play a huge role in determining diamond prices. So if you go for a higher cut, better cut, alright, that'll bring the price up. If you go for a higher clarity, that'll bring the price up. If you go for a higher color, that'll bring the price up. And carat, obviously, the carat weight, that brings the price up. But if you go for a smaller stone in carat weight, but a higher color, then they kind of balance each other out. Similar to, well, the cut doesn't really affect the price as much. You know, although round brilliant cuts are your most popular stones, essentially all other shapes are marginally cheaper than the round stones. But in saying that, it all depends if it's a fancy cut. So if it's a specialized cut, pear shape, or specialized cut, princess cut, uniquely cut, then you're going to pay a premium on that as well. So consider all your options. There's so many variables. You need to educate yourself. Usually if you go for a mid-range size, like a 0.75 carat, that's a 3/4 carat, or just under 1 carat, go for under 1 carat. If you go for D to G, that's more on your higher end on color wise. If you go for IJ, that's your mid-range color. That'll give you a slight tint in the diamond, but it'll bring the price down again. If you go for clarity, like VVS, there's very, very slight inclusions. That's the top of the range again. If you want to go for VS or SI, VS stands for very slight inclusions. SI is slight inclusions, just a grade lower again, but usually not visible to the naked eye. That's going to play a part in our next pitfall again, where you need to view the stones. So definitely research that, educate yourself around the 4 C's. That plays a huge part. If I can break it down for you, when you're buying an engagement ring, I want to go as far as saying that 65%, even 70% is the diamond or the accent stone, the main stone. The balance of it goes for the gold, melee diamonds or smaller stones, and obviously labor for making the ring. So majority of the cost goes into the center stone. So very important, you need to research that. Get your facts straight and get your ducks in a row before you go and buy a diamond. Even if you're not buying a diamond, if you're buying a colored stone like sapphire or emerald, tanzanite, or any of these very lovely, unusual stones that's available in the market these days, do your research. That'll help you so much in the long run. Pitfall number 3. Very, very important. That ties in with our previous point I've made. You need to go in and view the stone you're about to purchase. When you walk into your jeweler, ask them if you can view their stones. If they don't have a lot of diamond stock on hand, they're usually able to get them in and show them to you. As soon as they get them in from their suppliers, they're usually able to give you a call. You go back into the store, you go view the stone. And it's important to ask them for a magnifier, optivisor, or one of these, a jeweler's loop. Place this in your eye with the diamond in front of you and you view the stone. Right? That's imperative, because that'll give you an indication on the... You probably won't be able to tell the color from that. You need a trained eye to be able to judge the color of a stone, and you're usually only able to judge the color comparatively with other stones. So if you have a bunch of stones next to each other, you can then decide which color you prefer. But at least that way, with the loop, you'll be able to see if there's any flaws in the stone, any noticeable flaws. You don't want any flaws on the top of the table. Usually if it's an SI clarity stone, you would want flaws on the sides, on the girdle, on the base of the culet, that sort of thing. Nothing on the top. But that's only for price point stones. So definitely go in and view the stone. Yes, I know you can buy stones, diamonds these days online, and they have this lovely video with the diamonds spinning around and you can see it, and I want to go as far as saying only 15 to 20% of those videos are actual videos of the stones. There are so many scammers out there. Be careful. You can be done in, you can order a stone, you'll get a diamond, but it wouldn't look anything like the stone you ordered online. So any advice I can give you, go to a jeweler and go to an owner-operator jeweler. That's the right place to go to. Somewhere where you can go and you either speak to the owner or you speak to the jeweler. Right? Someone that knows what they're talking about and someone that can guide you, and is not just there to take your money. Yes, me on the other side of the counter, obviously I'm trying to make a sale, but there must be some sort of integrity involved, where it's a give and take situation. I want to take your money, but I want to give you something valuable and that's worth your money, right? With evaluation, with diamond certificates, all the necessary paperwork to make you feel that you've gotten a good deal, right? And there's many jewelers out there that, or majority of jewelers out there, operate like this. I'm talking about owner-operated jewelers. The scammers are not owner-operated jewelers. They are fly-by-nights and just trying to make a quick buck and move on. So try to go to reputable jewelers with a good reputation, and usually a jeweler that someone has referred you to. Pitfall number 4, not taking into account the jeweler's reputation. So this means if you just head out the door, go to the mall, and you find the first jewelry store, or go to the first jewelry store you can find, walk on in, and you buy a ring. My best advice to you is find out from friends, family. Someone in your circle would have dealt with a jeweler in the past, so they can either tell you, that guy has a good reputation, he treated me well, he looked after me, and he gave me a good deal. Or the flip side of it, don't go to that guy, it's a bit dodgy, didn't feel too great, felt like he could have done more. You leave the store, he left, or that friend of person in his circle left the store feeling a little bit done in, and that happens. There's all sorts of people out there. Unfortunately, it does filter through into the jewelry trade as well. Not everyone is honest and trustworthy. There are some scammers out there, unfortunately. We've all heard the stories, and unfortunately some of them are true. So speak to your friends, speak to your family. Someone will recommend a jeweler to you, and they will say, just go see that guy, see so and so at that store, just tell him I sent you. It's usually I have customers come to me and recommend other people to come and see me personally, because they've dealt with me in the past. I've been doing jewelry for 28 years, so I've met a couple of people in my life, made a few engagement rings, and I tell you, I look after each and every one of them. I've had some odd requests, I've made some interesting designs, and ask any question. Don't feel like there's no such a thing as a stupid question. Right. It's only silly if you don't answer. It's only silly if you don't ask the question, and you leave the store wondering. And ask. Always ask. If the jeweler gets short with you or feels like you're trying to interrogate him, there's a limit though. There's a limit. It gets tricky. It's a fine line. But yeah, ask your questions. You need to feel comfortable with the person that you're dealing with. You're going to be spending a fair amount of money with this person. You want to feel like you get your money's worth. So definitely ask the questions and do your research and feel comfortable with your jeweler. If you don't feel comfortable, then it's usually a sign to say move on to the next one. And feel comfortable, then it's usually a sign to say move. So pitfall number 5, move on to the next one, and try and avoid chain stores. Chain stores are great for trinkets, everyday gifts like Mother's Day, Valentine's gifts. And I know all the chain stores might get upset with me now, but it's mass production stuff, and like anything, if it's mass produced, the quality is usually a little bit lacking. One-off pieces are usually more meticulously designed and created. Even if we use, like I've done a video recently where I've done a CAD designed ring. It's computer aided design, so that we've drawn a design up on the computer, and that gets casted, and then that gets molded and then casted, and then we get the ring in a raw form. We clean it up, polish it, and I'll put a link at the end of the video to that overnight video. And but that's different to mass production. Mass production is where they would make a master ring, right? If it been CAD designed or handmade, right? I've done this in the past, where the very first jewelry store I worked for, we did a lot of this. We did a lot of mass producing, and we did custom made stuff. So we were 13 people in the workshop, so it was a fairly large workshop for the area that I was based in South Africa. But so you make a mold of the master ring, and that mold gets used over and over and over and over again. So eventually it gets a bit worn, a little bit warped, and a little bit funky. So, but the master doesn't get remade. So it just carries on being used, and they just use it over and over and over again. That's where the problem steps in or arises. That's where you start picking up problems. Because claws are a little bit thinner, bands are a little bit thinner, everything doesn't line up as it should. So be wary. Mass production stuff is not always the best way to go. Yes, you save a bit of money, but in the long run, it's going to cost you. I can guarantee you that. Pitfall number 6. Not taking into account your partner's styles, what they like, what they prefer. There's no point if your partner is more down to earth, low key, doesn't like attention drawn to her, and you go out and you buy her this big, vivacious ring, just so that you can feel good and feel better about yourself because you've bought her this lovely, big, expensive ring. She's obviously wouldn't say no. I've not yet met a client who's told their fiance straight to their face, I don't like this ring. Right? Because it'll be rude. But I've had a few customers come to me, brides to be come to me and say, listen, is there anything I can do with this ring? Because they really don't like it, but they don't want to tell their partner that. And usually we're able to convince the partner and say, well, listen, let's change the design of it. So we use the diamonds, we use the gold, and just change the design. And then the flip side of that again is there's no point in you buying your partner a plain band and with a couple of small diamonds in it, and she's someone who loves big and sparkly. You know, so know your partner and try and keep her in mind when purchasing an engagement ring. That's very important because essentially she's potentially going to wear that ring for the rest of your married life. So yeah, it's definitely important to take her taste into account. So those are 6 pitfalls to try and avoid. There's obviously lots more, right? I can go on for days. But in conclusion, what you need to know, you need to decide how much you want to spend. Throw all the cliches out the window. You do what's comfortable for you. Secondly, do your research. Know what you're looking for, know what you want to get, and how much you want to spend. Make sure that you view the diamond before you buy it. That's essential. You need to see the diamond before you buy it. Know your jeweler. Be comfortable with your jeweler. Ask questions. Speak to them. And don't feel intimidated. I'm in the planning phase with another video where I'm going to explain the technical jargon of jewelers. So you, the everyday Joe out there, that you can also understand when you walk into a jewelry shop what they mean when they talk about certain parts of the ring and certain parts of the stone. So that's coming soon. So yeah, know your jeweler, feel comfortable with your jeweler. And then the style of ring. Make sure that the style of the ring is something that your partner would like and would be practical for her. There's no point you go out, you guys are a farming community and you buy your partner this big halo ring with all the small accent stones, milli stones, and a standing protruding with the fine little claws holding all the stones in place, and she's out there on the fields working with you. This ring is going to get ruined within a year. It's not going to last. You're going to lose diamonds, lose money, and lose respect for your jeweler. Ask your jeweler, is that something that you can wear on an everyday basis? Is it hard wearing? If you are socialites and you're just living in a lap of luxury, it's no judgment, then yes, you can wear the daintiest rings and with the most beautiful filigree work out there, because it's not going to get as much damage as someone that actually works with their hands. So yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this video. If you've taken anything away from it, please smash the like button. If you're interested in future content I'll be making, please whack the subscribe button. And all that's left to do is thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Chunky Jula out.